This is a review of lesson 120 of A Course in Miracles. I have to think because this is a review of, or it's a reflection on two prior lessons, 109 and 110. 109 is I trust in God, and 110 is I am as God created me. And I smushed those together since we're reviewing both on one day. And as I was reflecting on that yesterday and this morning, it reminded me, and then I was watching a lot of like little snippet videos from a non-duality speaker. I don't want to say teacher, because how do you teach non-duality? It's so silly. But he speaks on the topic a lot, and I watch his videos, and I go through spurts, and I've been through a spurt lately. And there was a video that popped up about reality bubbles. And oh my God, I had a whole experience after, like, while listening to that, because it was such a great visual for me, or a meditative thing to do. And it was about how he didn't mean it as a like a practice or anything, but it was how, okay, there are many thoughts I'm having right now. The other thought is, and I just spoke with a friend about this because I was thinking about it, was top of mind also, was like when my head, like all of these lessons in A Course in Miracles, I feel like all of them boil down at some point to recognizing the self for what it is, recognizing the little self for what it is, the ego self, and coming into relation with our true self, which is eternal, which is very different than the ego self. So the ego self, it's full of illusions. And so all of these lessons point to these shifts in perception that are needed when we get into those states of like, oh, like things should be different, or I feel like I'm not fulfilling a potential, or, you know, it's not looking like I know it could be, or like all the things like that basically are divisive, that say, here's some idea of what should be happening or how I should be feeling, and it's not that way right now. What's going on? And it's funny because the thing that that came to mind about all of this is something I heard a long time ago, probably from the same guy who makes these videos, like recognizing the ego for what it's doing, and trying to, it's not like we're trying to kill the ego. We're just trying to recognize it for what it's doing. And so he said, I don't know if he said this or not, or if I came up with it based on something he said, but I started practicing it again today, and it's like, oh, the self is selfing again. Oh, how adorable. How cute. And I remember thinking on this earlier this year when I was down in Costa Rica. That was, I think, a big part of my daily meditations or whatever, walks on the beach, was just like coming into a new relationship with the ego. And it's like, I'm not really trying to kill it. Like, people talk about ego death and whatever. It's like, no, I need it for certain things. I just want to have a better relationship with it. So I told my friend this morning, I want to, like, just, what did I say? Like my ego wants to rise up and be acknowledged. Like, I recognize it for what it is, because of all the wounded parts of me from a long time ago. Like, it just wants to be seen and acknowledged, you know. And then, so I say, okay, look, the self is selfing again, aw, and show some compassion for it. So it's like, oh, how adorable. The ego is egoing again. And so it creates that pause between the eternal me, the eternal self, and the ego self, and says, oh, look what it's doing. Oh, aren't you cute? I know where that comes from. You have an old wound. Remember, we've done a lot of work to heal that, and sometimes it still bubbles up. And so then I thought of the bubble analogy of like reality bubbles, where now bridging over into non-duality here, it's like, there is no past. there is no future. Like, you can't, it's not tangible, is it? It's not something we can be like, there it is, let me pick it up and look at it. Like, oh, the future, oh, the past. Like, it's just a thought. They're just thoughts. What are thoughts? And then I had this whole crazy experience of, like, it's pretty cool though, but of like, I was standing at the sink, I think yesterday, and I was like, oh my God, who's doing the looking? When you question, like, who am I? What's in there doing the looking? That's always the observer, the awareness, the consciousness. That is actually, I mean, it can get pretty trippy when you start going down the non-duality path, and it's kind of been where I keep being led over and over again. This struggle between spirituality and reality and non-duality, and like triangulating it all. And it's like, that's my particular path. It's like I'm very grounded in reality, and then part of me wants to be like, I just want to talk to spirit all the time. And it's like, well, what the hell is spirit? What is it? And it's like, my logical brain and my felt sense of it, like, it all goes back to, for me, just recognizing as a felt sense the oneness of everything. It's all the same stuff. And the ego likes to categorize and like triangulate and figure stuff out. And I'm just like, but it's all the same stuff. Who are you talking to? Like, who are mediums talking to? What are psychics doing? What are we, like, regular everyday humans doing? Like, we're all regular everyday humans. It's just like, what awareness are we awareing out of? And so I thought about the reality bubbles. There's this, I just was like on my stationary bike this morning. Like, I don't know why it happened then. I was really exercising hard. And then all of a sudden I had this experience of non-duality where like a no self popped in. Like, whoa, I lost all sense of myself. Like, who's even riding this bike right now? And I thought of like the lessons for today of like, I rest in God, or whatever the lessons even are. It was all tied up with this. Like, there's no problem here. There's really nothing here other than these, you have snapshots of the past, ideas about the future. It's all just snapshots. They're like just snapshots. And then we have these bubbles of reality. Like, those are just like little bubbles, little snapshots in time. Everything is just a little snapshot, because we're in this like time space. And it's like, well, then what is the ever-present me? Just the observer of like the reality bubbles. Like, the self, I had a visual of myself just being like a whole bunch of just bubbles, like, that I'm reflected in. Just, isn't that trippy? And then it felt so liberating, just like the awareness, my consciousness, which is actually everyone shares a consciousness. The observer is just like, whoa, observing these snapshots of a ego self, a personality doing things in the world. Isn't it trippy? Oh, I love it so much. I love it because it is so liberating. It's just like, there's no problem here. And then when I really stop and think, like, I had a problem. I think I have to go. My client might be here. I had like a problem. And then I was like, wait a minute. That's just myself rising up saying, be recognized. Don't let anybody take advantage of you. There was a lot of that in the past. You're not doing that anymore. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, wait a minute. No one's taking advantage. And if somebody tried, I'd be like, I'd actually act out of integrity and compassion in that moment. I would know how to act right in that moment because I have healed those parts. I'd be like, there's no problem here. And you know what? Next time that won't, I got to go. My client's here. Bye.